Welcome to the Lead at Home podcast, where every episode is about learning how to develop our parenting skills to achieve the best for our children. Here are your hosts, Sarah Franco and Jala Gaines.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us today for the Lead at Home podcast. My name is Jala Gaines. This is Sarah Franco, and today we're going to be talking about what it looks like and what it means to lead with stability and stability in the home. So Sarah, take it away.
Yeah, well, of course, we hear a lot of different, when I got my degree, my degree in family studies.
Yes.
And don't ask what that is. It's just, you're studying a lot of family, people, marriage, parenting stuff.
Yes.
And I think one of the big things that has been talked about for a long time is stability for children and what a difference that makes. And I think sometimes we think of that as having a stable home. I know for me, I was a foster care caseworker. So you think of kids who have come from a very unstable place versus, okay, let's put them in a stable place. But honestly, we're talking about smaller things too that can affect where a seemingly stable home can have its instability to it.
Absolutely.
So one of the things that, we talked about in this was just even our moods. Ladies, I'm talking to you mostly because we have these emotions that can go up and down. And, I do think it's important to be ourselves.
Of course.
Our kids will see that, and our husbands will see that, we have bad days, we have good days. That's just part of being human and living this life. And we go through a lot of different things in our day. But for the most part, there should be a stability in our moods. I think it should not be this question mark when your husband walks through the door at night or when your child comes home from school, like, what version of mom am I getting today? Because you hear about that. And I would just say I recognize that there are mental health issues that have to be addressed in people. And that could be the root of some of those things. But I also know, there are counselors, medication, things that you can do. And I would just encourage you to be proactive in doing those kinds of things because stability at home really does need to start with us. We can't expect our children to set that tone. Absolutely. Yeah,
because I'm just thinking of when I was younger. It was a definite growth point for my mom. But I just remember we would come home and, she had a rough day. The house was messy. She was frustrated that she was cleaning it by herself. She was a stay-at-home mom. My dad wasn't there at all during the day. And we would come home and she would be furious. She was just like, go do your homework, come out here and clean if you want, but, kind of leave me alone.
Right.
And I just remember as a kid being like, well, what did I do?
Right.
And then you start, thinking, well, maybe it's me. Maybe I hurt mom's feelings, or maybe being around mom, maybe I'm annoying to her.
Right.
And you start taking on all these things about yourself. And I feel really bad just for my little self and, other kids maybe that are just like, well, what is it about me? And,
they don't understand, what, and obviously your mom was dealing with some things.
Yes.
And there were other things that you didn't see, but all you saw was the anger, the frustration, and you felt responsible for that. Yeah.
And just I feel like there's a projection aspect.
Yeah.
When you start putting your burdens on not only your kids but your spouse, and because I am even guilty of this. I know that there have been a couple times Jordan's come home and he's like, I've had a day at work. I've been busy. I've been, on all day, and I come home and you're supposed to be my safe space, and you're frustrated with me. And so now I don't feel like you're a safe space. I don't feel like I could come home and be safe here. I'm feeling like on edge with you. And I really had to be like, wow, like I need to stop because my marriage is more important. And, you know, I need to do whatever I need to do to make sure that when my husband comes home, my moods are good.
Right.
And sometimes it takes humbling. That's all I can say. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably going to be a common theme throughout our things.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think, you know, as we look at the different aspects of family life, another area of stability would, to me, it's kind of being stable, being consistent, kind of goes hand in hand with your discipline.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I was guilty of this when my kids were younger, that sometimes I would let them get away with something over and over and over. And then it's like they do the exact same thing, but then I come down because I'm in a mood. Right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe if you have an old enough child, you've only got a 1-year-old, but, you know, if we all have old enough kids, we've probably all done it one time or another. But I think there is this, and I, you know, look, there's, we're human. Again, I'm going to say that a lot. We're human and we will mess up. But I think that you don't want that to be the norm, obviously. I think, and that's what we're saying in all of these things. We're going to mess up, and sometimes we are going to blow up at our kids because we're cleaning all by ourselves or whatever. But you don't want that to become the norm of what's like, oh boy, when, you know, the kids feel like they have to brace themselves, or your husband or maybe your wife feels like, oh, what am I going to get when they walk through that door tonight because they had a hard day at work, or, you know, whatever. You know, and this is one of those things too that I was like, oh, do I talk about it? Do I not? Addictions. Because we can be, that addictions can create a lot of instability. So if we are having, you know, if there are people dealing with drug, alcohol issues, and even, I mean, gosh, even, you know, you look at addictions to like something like a video game, or, you know, like it's like you're just checked out. And the child is kind of left to fend for themselves, or the spouse is left to kind of fend for themselves. That doesn't create stability in the home. Your friendships, who else are you welcoming into your home? Are they people that you would consider stable? You know, family, obviously, there's a whole different...
another can of worms.
I mean, you know, you want your home to be a place that family can be, but I do think there are ways that you can manage that better. That might be a totally different podcast someday.
Yeah, we got to save that one.
But yeah, I think just that, you know, we kind of talked about like what would instability look like, and what about stability, and why is it so important? Is, you know, basically, so we have this sanctuary. We're all dealing with a lot of stuff. The world's a crazy place these days, right? And absolutely. So home, you want to be stable. And so that might take some changes, which are hard.
Absolutely.
It isn't easy to make those changes. Maybe it's communicating to your spouse if there's something that needs to change to make that place. And like for Jordan to be able to tell you, like, I don't feel like this is a safe space.
Being able to,
instead of just keeping it to himself and getting angry or staying away from the home, you know, he could have responded in that way. So by him talking to you about it, that was a really healthy way to deal with it.
I'd agree.
So
I was really proud of him for that.
And it isn't always easy, but it's definitely worth it.
I would agree. And as you were speaking, just another thing, like stability, I feel like kind of stems from, I mean, you touched on it a bit, but just consistency, meaning what you say, saying what you mean, not making your feelings and your frustrations everyone else's. And I feel like that's just really important. And not saying like you shouldn't share your burdens with someone else. By all means, let people know when you're feeling something, or if you're frustrated, definitely vocalize that. But just be respectful and realize, everyone's going through their own thing.
Yeah.
So yeah. Wow, this was good. This
Yeah.
was really good.
Yeah, it was. Always new ways to grow and learn.
Yes.
And I think it just, it even makes me think, for my own self, making sure, just kind of keeping it in check. Mm-hmm. All of these kinds of things, I think we always have to be keeping in check.
Absolutely.
Because it can change like that.
I agree.
So, yeah.
Thanks, Sarah.
Yeah, I'm glad we got to talk about this and that you guys could join us here in Leading with Stability. We'll look forward to seeing you again next time.
Bye.